For most Western people, December is a great month of celebration as they are immersed in the joyful atmosphere of Christmas. Yet a few days before this holiday, usually between December 20th and the 23rd, Chinese people also have a very important festival, 冬至, or winter solstice. Winter solstice is a very important solar term in Chinese lunar calendar. Being a traditional holiday as well, it's still celebrated quite often in many regions. Midwinter Day is the very day in the Northern Hemisphere where daylight is the shortest. After winter solstice, daytime will become increasingly longer, and the coldest time of the year will slowly invade the northern parts of the globe.
Now in English, winter solstice actually comes from the Latin. Sol means sun, and stis means stay still. So how ancient people figured out the winter solstice is they looked up at the sky, and every day the sun arcs across it. During the year when the sun would arc its lowest and no lower, that was the start of the solstice, and it would stay that way for about 3 days, and then it would start to arc higher as the days got longer and longer. Some of the most famous buildings in the world, including Stonehenge, were actually built to identify the solstice so that farmers would know when it was.
According to scientific results, on winter solstice, which is the 21st of December this year, a right angle is formed by the sun and the Tropic of Capricorn. Thus, the northern hemisphere receives the least sunlight and the shortest day and the longest night. Universally, winter solstice was regarded as the beginning of the annual reawakening of nature.
以前嗰啲從事嗰啲農事嗰啲人咧，因為喺冬至前咧已經嗰啲莊稼全部已經就收成翻咗翻屋企嘅，咁佢咧就利用嗰段時間咧就喺屋企咧好好休息，咁咧就等到明年嘅春天咧再大幹一場。
This celebration can be traced to the Chinese belief in yin and yang, which represents balance and harmony in life. It's believed that the inequalities of darkness and cold are their most powerful at this time, but it's also the turning point, giving way to light and warmth of the yang. As it's the beginning of the triumph of yang over yin, Dongzhi Festival is a time for optimism. But for local people, it's also an interesting prediction on the weather.
廣州人嗰陣時，我哋做細路仔嗰陣時候，好怕過年落雨噶嘛，因為細路仔着上新衫一落雨咧就冇得玩噶嘛。咁咧就即係嗰陣時候又冇乜點天氣預報㗎，又冇點樣預測，咁就諗下啲老人家教我啦，即係講落啦，乾冬濕年啊咁啊到冬至嗰日咧，睇下冇落雨，如果落雨咧，乾冬濕年啊嘛，咁如果你嗰日落雨咧，過年嗰時肯定唔會落雨啦，就好高興㗎。咁咧即係如果喺一般從事農事嗰啲人咧，佢做一種節令啦，佢就點咧？係冬雨咧，冬至落雨就牛羊凍死嘅，咁佢咧就要做好防範嘅工作啦。
Chinese festivals originally were religious and ritualistic in character. These important holiday events kept the spirit of the rituals alive as they honored gods, ghosts, and ancestors throughout the year. Many people would offer incense the morning of Dongzhi. Some would take a break from work, but most would use the evening of the solstice as a time for ceremony performed at the family altar. There was incense, candles, and offerings of prayers and thanks. These were made to heaven and earth, the household gods and the spirits of their ancestors.
基本上買嚿燒肉啦，買雞啊，咁拜神啦，即係話今年冬已經過去啦，冬過後咧就春天個來臨啦，就快過年啦咁。
Following the ceremony, families would assemble for a sumptuous dinner celebrating the arrival of winter and the lengthening of the days. Many people in Guangzhou celebrate this day as an occasion for family reunion.
一般家庭好似我哋，即係我媽咁樣，佢好早就已經通知我哋啊，廿1號過冬啊，記住翻嚟食飯啊咁我哋 過冬啫，咪唔係過年，冬大過年啊嘛。
Winter solstice in Guangzhou is celebrated with great tempo, enthusiasm, and spirit.
We're here at one of Guangzhou's wet markets and we're getting ready for the winter solstice feast. Now in China, one of the common things that you have at dinner is just eat a whole chicken as a family, which symbolizes a wholeness or completeness. Now for us slightly larger Westerners, you might know that we will eat a whole turkey or even a whole big piece of ham as a family as we celebrate Christmas at the same time.
You will find locals going to supermarkets, restaurants, and department stores right before the festivities. It's also a time when people start eating, gulping down mutton, chicken, dumplings, and glutinous rice balls. Traditionally, a lavish feast full of chicken and duck and vegetables will be arranged on this day so that friends and families can gather together and enjoy.
Well, to most Westerners, China offers a baffling array of greens. However, for the winter solstice, it's quite easy to choose what you need. Most Cantonese will pick this, sheng cai. Why sheng cai? Well, because the word sheng means to grow or live, and the word cai sounds like the word for money, so it means to make money. If there's one thing I need, it's more money, so I'll take 2, please.
In the north, people will eat dumplings, while those in the south will enjoy glutinous rice. Having glutinous rice in this cold season warms your stomach. Local people put sliced preserved sausages, peanuts, dry shrimps, and mushrooms in the pot and then fry them with glutinous rice.
我哋廣州人咧，以前咧就食糯米飯嘅嚇。你想食糯米飯咧，嗰陣時糯米飯就俾花生臘肉咧。食糯米飯嗰日咧，最香嗰日咧就係冬至啦。我哋細個嗰陣時，以前好凍啊，真係好凍啊！即係到冬至嗰陣時好凍啊，邊會而家着2件衫着短袖衫唔會嘅。咁啊一家人咧就縮埋一嚿咁韞埋間屋裏邊嚇，咁啊整個炭爐啊，咁啊屋企啊就包糯米飯。即係細個嗰小時候細個嗰陣時，總覺得嗰啲糯米飯特別香嘅，因為平時好少食啊嘛。因為以前你知道㗎啦，以前開埠改革之前，你想食豬肉都好困難啊。
The excitement of the Chinese people on this day might remind you of the old Chinese proverb, winter solstice is more important than New Year's Day.
Well, the other great thing about the winter solstice is this was the day marked on the calendar when all of the wine was finished fermenting. So it was a great day for celebration because the wine was ready to drink. Ah, sweet alcohol. What would I do without you?
Of course, people do tend to dine out more than cook at home nowadays. So you will notice that hot pot restaurants in the city will become very popular. In fact, according to traditional Chinese medicine, winter is the best time to take in certain Chinese herbs, meat and vegetables to improve health because the metabolic action of the body slows down. It's easier to store nutrition in your system. At this time of the year, the locals will put animal meats such as mutton and beef and Chinese herbs such as ginseng, pilos antlers, and dry longan into the hot pot soup. They can both warm up and nourish your body. Dongzhi is celebrated in style. The longest night of this year is a time to put on brand new clothes, visit friends and give them gifts, laugh and drink long into the wee hours of the night.